Thaw. Over the land freckled with snow half-thawed, the speculating rooks at their nests cawed, and saw from elm tops, delicate as flower of grass, what we below could not see, winter pass. Blizzards had battered Hare Hall Army Camp in Essex that winter of 1915-16. A covering of snow continued on the ground into March. Edward Thomas was cold and dispirited. He had been denied promotion and refused leave, and had spent his 38th birthday in camp because of it. Home lay 80 miles away in Hampshire, but it had ambivalent feelings for him, and he sensed a faltering in the poetry since his mentor, Robert Frost, had returned to America the previous year, straining their friendship as he went. Thomas had been writing verse for just 15 months, but already he had produced 2/3 of the poems that he would write. In the bitter conditions of Army Camp that spring, a despondency that had accompanied his adult life had taken grip on him once more. It was the second week of March 1916 before conditions began to improve. "The weather is changing at last," he wrote to Frost. "The snow has melted. The sun is very warm. The rooks in the camp trees are nesting. They wake us at 5:30. He had finally been given leave, and on the train to Hampshire, he opened his notebook and in pencil wrote, "Over the land with freckled..." He hesitated. Not with freckled, but freckled with. Over the land freckled with snow half-thawed, the rooks at their nests cawed. This second line seemed abrupt. He went back. The speculating rooks at their nests cawed. Yes, that was it, speculating. Seeing from the tall elms, delicate as grass. That was a stumble in rhythm. He tried again. And saw from tops of elms, delicate as grass. Not perfect, but for now, he continued. What we below could not see. Winter pass. Later, most likely in Hampshire, he wrote out the verse in neat ink on the facing page of the notebook, revisiting the rhythm of this third line, and this time lengthening it markedly. In one final reworking, he made small adjustments of punctuation, but in truth, little had changed from that first draft that he had all but perfected on the train journey between Essex and Hampshire, the 10th of the 3rd, 1916, going home, as he noted on the copy. All that was left now was the making of the typescript, from which his publisher Selwyn and Blount would set the posthumous edition of his works in 1917. Thomas excelled at the quatrain. He had already composed In Memoriam Easter 1915 and would soon repeat the poem form for the cherry trees. But Thaw was an entirely original creation and bore the hallmarks of what, by the spring of 1916, had come to distinguish his verse. In its subject matter, it was attentive to the seasons, to the birds, to the elm trees that in themselves mark out Thomas's countryside as being from a different era to our own. In its diction, it was radical, speculating. Now that's not a word that a creative writing workshop class of today would be likely to advocate. It's 4 syllables, a risk to a single syllable line. But in its animation, it was pure Thomas. In its form, it was inventive. Draped across a frame of pentameter, it resisted iambs and extended its third line unnaturally but skillfully in order to decelerate towards its finale. For it was there, in that last line, that true magic would take place. There, it was what Thomas alone was achieving among his peers, and what he alone seemed capable of. Imagining not what another human being might see, but what an animal might. It was a respectful separation of sense and perspective that he had become a master of. And in its part, it was reason why his work today is regarded as so ecologically advanced.